Hello there, and welcome to Whispers to Sleep. My name is David, and I'm truly honored to be your guide tonight. Here we believe sleep is not just a routine. It's a gentle journey, a quiet return to peace every night. I craft stories with care, so your mind can rest and your body can soften all you need to do. Let go, take a slow deep breath in, and as you breathe out, allow the day to melt away. Close your eyes. Get cozy under the covers and let my voice lead you into calm, into comfort, into dreams. This is your time. Your memento, truly relax. Let's begin. You open your eyes slowly, as if waking from a dream inside a deeper dream. The sky above you is not blue, not quite. It sings in slow waves of lavender and gold, with soft bands of honey-colored clouds stretching lazily across the horizon. Somewhere behind them, two suns rise together, one larger and paler, the other a quiet companion, smaller and peach-tinted, glowing with warmth, but not heat. You don't know how you arrived here, and yet you feel no urgency to explain it. There is no fear, no rush, no noise inside you. Only this moment, steady. Hold your eyes gently, noticing how your body feels different. Lighter, perhaps. Or maybe the air is heavier, not oppressive, but supportive, like 1,000 invisible hands holding you in place. Gravity is still here, but it's softened at the edges. You are grounded, yes, but floating just slightly above the rhythm of the earth you remember. Beneath your feet, the moss is thick and springy, almost too soft to be real. It glows faintly, not bright, not strange, just enough to look like memory does in the quiet hours of night. Every step you take is soundless. Every breath tastes like the moment after rain. Clean, oxygen-rich, alive. This place feels like peace. But why? Your eyes move slowly across the landscape. Rolling hills curve like sleeping bodies. Trees sway without wind. The shadows fall, not in sharp lines, but in softened gradients, like brushstrokes on silk. The entire world seems painted with patience. And time, time feels slower here. Not broken, just kind. You sit on a smooth stone ledge shaped by who knows how many seasons. It welcomes you without a word. And for a moment, you just breathe. Inhale. Exhale. The air wraps around you like warm cloth. It enters your body like permission. And here, in this silence, your thoughts begin to slow. Not because you force them to, but because the planet itself seems to lull them to rest. You begin to wonder, what makes this place feel so deeply safe? Why does the sky feel so soft? Why does the ground feel like a promise kept? You are not dreaming. No, this world may be unknown to you, but it obeys the same laws that shaped your own God. So you begin to notice the way the light bends through. The atmosphere. How the double suns cast two shadows that cross softly under your body. The hue of the sky, not random, not fantasy, but a product of scattered wavelengths. Rayleigh scattering, you remember, is the same effect that turns Earth's skies blue. But here, the particle sizes must be different, the gases perhaps more abundant, or more complex. You smile. Science hasn't left you. It's here. It's always been here. Just dressed in silk and song. The warmth of the larger sun begins to wrap around you. It's not the fierce heat of desert afternoons. It's the warmth of tea held in two hands. A gentle, low-frequency heat, infrared. Perhaps radiating softly, not burning, but embracing. You close your eyes and tilt your face toward it. And in that stillness, you remember something? Energy. Everything around you, this planet, this light, this body you inhabit, all of it is energy, redistributed into forms and functions. The suns are fusion machines, like your own sun back. Home turning hydrogen into helium, releasing light that travels across years to find skin. And yet, in this moment, That light feels instant, intimate, personal. You imagine the atmosphere of this planet, thick perhaps or layered. Gases that act like a soft lens, refracting the double sunlight into warmth and color, dampening ultraviolet rays, scattering the harsh edges of photons. A blanket made not of fabric, but physics. And then, the pressure. You feel no weight on your chest, no strain in your breath. This means the balance is perfect. The atmospheric pressure must be close to what your body expects. A whisper of nitrogen, a touch of oxygen, maybe even noble gases you've never breathed before. All dancing in ratios that echo comfort. This isn't magic. It's molecular. Choreography. You breathe again. Inhale. Exhale. Every breath is a quiet collaboration between chemistry and trust. You look down at your hands. They are steady, grounded, but your thoughts drift upward, skyward, wondering, what makes a planet hospitable? You remember the Goldilocks zone, that delicate orbital ring around a star where a planet is not too hot, not too cold. Just right. Liquid water can exist. Atmospheres can cling. Life can whisper its first notes into the dark dot is this planet. In that zone, the suns above you suggest something different. Two stars, a binary system perhaps, orbiting each other in a gravitational waltz. And this world balanced between them, held in place by the harmony of celestial motion. You wonder what that does to the seasons. How light changes here over time. How gravity, temperature, and radiation all interact to create this rare space. This breathing, balanced world that feels like it was made for sleep. And maybe it was. You stand again. The moss cushions your soles. The suns lean higher into the sky, casting long, drowsy shadows. You walk a little. There is no path, just open space, gentle hills, and the sense that wherever you go, the planet goes with you. As if it's watching. Not as a god or a guardian, but as a system. A natural arrangement of forces and matter that happen, by some slow miracle, to be beautiful. And then, you pause. The wind picks up for the first time, light, fragrant, cool. Not enough to chill, just enough to remind you. Air moves. You smile again. You wonder what the wind is made of here. What molecules drift in its body. What currents of. Temperature and rotation shape. Its flow. It is time. You sense. To explore the air. To feel it not just as comfort, but as knowledge. To understand what you're breathing. And why it makes you feel so alive. Asterisk, asterisk. And so, you turn your face to the breeze and begin to follow it. Because the air, too, has its story to tell. You follow the breeze. It curls around your face like a silk ribbon, almost playful in its touch. The air here feels different, softer somehow, but not in weight. In meaning. You stop and breathe. Inhale. Exhale. And the moment you do, it's as if the planet leans in to meet you. As if it's offering you something, not a gift, but a partnership. A silent molecular handshake. You breathe it in, and it breathes you back. The first breath is always the one you remember. It's not just about oxygen. It never was. Air is a symphony of invisible dancers, molecules spinning and colliding in a great, endless movement. Here, on this world, the composition feels harmonious, balanced, gentle. Back home, Earth's air is roughly 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and just a small fraction, barely 1% of everything else. Argon, carbon dioxide, neon, helium, each one playing its quiet role. Together, they form the pressure that holds your lungs open, the flow that keeps your blood humming. You wonder what balance exists here. The air presses against your skin, not heavily, but present. Atmospheric pressure, you recall, is the weight of all the molecules above you. Each square inch of your body quietly holds up a column of sky. On Earth, that's about 14.7 pounds per square inch. Enough to keep the water in your cells from boiling. Enough to shape the physics of breath. Here, the pressure must be similar, or your body would have noticed. Too much, and you'd feel crushed. Too little, and your breath would thin into panic. But here, your lungs open like wings. Each inhale feels like song. You keep walking. Slowly. The terrain opens wide, gentle plains carpeted in soft vegetation, undisturbed by sound. The only rhythm is your breath. In, out, in again. It begins to match the breeze. Or maybe the breeze begins to match you. It's hard to say where the cycle begins. This is what an atmosphere does. It creates rhythm. Not just wind and weather, but life itself. Without an atmosphere, there is no sky, no blue, no clouds, no scattering of light, no echo of sound. The air around you defines color, defines heat, defines silence. It filters radiation. It holds warmth, like a woven cloak. It protects. And here, you feel it doing just that. You tilt your head upward. The suns are higher now, and yet their heat doesn't overwhelm you. This air must be thick enough, or composed just right, to filter out the fiercer rays. On Earth, ozone helps with that. It absorbs ultraviolet light, shielding skin from damage, letting just enough of the spectrum through to feed plants and brighten days. You wonder, does this planet have its own version of ozone? Maybe a cousin compound born from a different chemical history, but serving the same purpose. A molecular guardian. A quiet sentinel in the sky. You reach out your hand, fingers spread wide, as if to catch the air itself, but there's nothing to catch, only movement. And in that movement, knowledge. Wind isn't random. It's a messenger. It tells you where heat is, where cold lingers, how the world is turning. It flows from high pressure to low, from sunlit to shaded, from sea to land. And you are simply standing still enough to feel it whisper past. You close your eyes. Again, inhale. Exhale. What a miracle it is, this invisible river you live in. You think of how gases form, how atoms bond, how a single nitrogen molecule, two atoms held tightly together, can float for miles, bounce through centuries, and still remain whole. It may have once passed through a volcano, through a fern, through a lung not unlike your own. You breathe it in now, and it becomes part of you. For a moment, a breath. Then it leaves again, carrying your warmth, your carbon, your quiet. On this planet, that cycle is undisturbed. No pollution here, no combustion, no smog. Only breath moving through time. You wonder what trace elements are hiding in this air. Could there be helium, light as thought? Could there be xenon, glowing softly in the shadows of night? Could you taste iron, smell salt, feel the faintest tickle of methane or ammonia? Every breath is a question and an answer. You think of Earth again, of how blue its skies are. And you remember why the molecules in Earth's atmosphere scatter blue light more efficiently than red. Shorter wavelengths bounce around more, filling the sky with that iconic hue. At sunset, when light must travel farther, red and orange begin to dominate. A daily experiment in photon behavior. Here, the sky is lavender. So what does that tell you? Perhaps the air is thicker. Perhaps the molecules are larger. Or perhaps there's a touch of something else. A new gas, unknown but kind, bending light just so. You don't need a spectrometer to feel the science. It's written in the color of the sky. And suddenly, you realize you are part of this atmosphere now. Your breath has joined the air. Your warmth has drifted into its currents. You are being carried. Slowly and visibly, you are joining the rhythm of the world. You sit again. not out of fatigue, but out of reverence. The air wraps around you, unbothered by your questions. It has always existed. It doesn't need to be understood to do its work. But the wonder, you realize, is in understanding anyway. In seeing the science beneath the stillness, you lean back. Your head rests gently against the moss. The suns move silently above Dot, and for the first time in a long time, you feel held. Not by hands, not by walls, but by atmosphere. You breathe again. Inhale, exhale Dot, and as your eyes begin to close, you wonder what lies beneath this place. What roots reach down into this quiet soil? What stories are buried in the dirt, waiting for your hands? The air hums around you like a lullaby. And, somewhere beneath your body, the soil waits to speak. You lower yourself to the earth, slowly, carefully, as if kneeling before something sacred, and perhaps you are Dot. The ground meets you with warmth, not from the sun alone, but from something deeper, something stored. Your hand grazes the moss. First, then the soil beneath it, soft, spongy, textured like velvet made of memory. Dot, it smells faintly sweet, earthy, like stories composted into scent. You press your palm flat against it and close your eyes. The surface is quiet, but beneath your touch, you can feel it breathing. This is not just dirt, this is process. This is life turned downward, dissolving into the past to make way for the future. Soil, you remember, is not the same as sand or rock. It's not just broken stone. It's something born of both decay and persistence. It is structure made from collapse. The remnants of fallen leaves, ancient plants, forgotten rains, all gathered into layers that whisper of time. Dig your fingers in gently, and the soil parts like it knows you. Tiny grains fall away, cooler underneath. Moisture hiding just below the surface. Dot, you remember that on Earth, soil is made through weathering, the slow, methodical wearing down of rock by wind, water, temperature, and biology. It takes centuries to make an inch of topsoil. Thousands of years for a landscape to hold what you now cradle in your palm. Here, on this paradise planet, the soil feels wiser, as though it has known longer what it was meant to become. You imagine the journey of a single particle. Perhaps it began as stone, buried deep in the crust. Time passed, pressure shifted, heat rose. Then, one day, a crack, a shift, a breaking point. Water seeped in, wind whispered through, and that mighty rock began to crumble. Now, that fragment sits between your fingers, humble, useful, waiting. Soil is not static. It is teeming. Dot, invisible to your eye, but alive with movement. Bacteria feasting on remnants. Fungi stretching silently through networks beneath. Tiny invertebrates burrowing, breaking, mixing. Carbon cycling, nitrogen fixing, roots breathing. Underground air. You lean closer, resting your ear to the earth. Of course, there is no sound. And yet, you feel it. The hum of biochemical conversations. Dot, it's strange how easily we forget that soil is alive. Not alive like an animal, no, but as a system. An ecosystem under your feet. A microcosm of cooperation, recycling, balanced out on Earth. A single teaspoon of healthy soil holds more microorganisms than there are people on the planet. Think of that. Billions working silently to nourish forests, fields, and food. And here, perhaps the same. The moss above whispers of nitrogen-fixing bacteria. The softness below suggests generations of nutrient cycles. But beyond biology, soil is story. Dot, it is layers. Strata. A memory book bound in sediment. You scrape aside a small patch, exposing subtle bands of color. Dark brown, rust red, soft gray. Each line a sentence, each change a shift in time or condition. Dot, planetary layers form as worlds age. Ash falls from distant volcanoes. Dust drifts in from other lands. Organic matter piles slowly, season by season. And in those layers are records, not just of what lived, but how it died, what it touched, what it gave back. Soil is made from death, but it gives life. Your hand returns to the surface, brushing the moss again. You think about the roots, the ones you cannot see. Tiny tendrils threading downward, seeking moisture, anchoring growth. Roots do not rush. They reach, quietly, intuitively. And in that reaching, they shape the world above. Your body relaxes into the ground. Knees bent, palms open, spine soft. You're not just sitting, you're settling, becoming part of this place, if only for a while. You begin to think of sleep in the same way. Isn't sleep its own kind of rooting? A letting go into the dark. A surrender to quiet processes beneath the surface of thought. While you rest, your body restores. Your brain organizes, prunes, rewires. Like compost turning into soil, the residue of experience becomes clarity. Unseen, but essential. Perhaps this is what the soil teaches, that rest is not nothing. It is not stillness for the sake of it. It is transformation, slow, gentle, necessary. You breathe deeply again. This time, the air is richer with scent, damp, grounded, warm. You lie back slowly now, your back touching the earth. Eyes to the lavender sky. You think of how this planet, like Earth, was shaped by heat and pressure, how it cooled, how it cracked, how rain and time and tiny life forms began to soften its bones. You think of how a sterile surface can become fertile, how lifeless dust can become home, how even in silence things begin. Your fingers play lazily in the moss. A few grains of soil cling to your skin. They don't feel foreign. They feel like an invitation. Sleep hums in your chest, low, slow, curling around your ribs, and you wonder, as your thoughts grow heavy, if the soil holds memory. What do the trees remember? And somewhere, just beyond your view, a leaf begins to turn gently toward the light. Quietly, the forest stirs. You walk softly into the forest. The soil yields beneath your steps without protest, and the air grows cooler, quieter, richer. All around you, tall trunks rise, some straight as columns, others curved like dancers mid-turn. Their canopies stretch wide, filtering the double suns into lacework light. Shadows and brightness play across your face. There is a hush here, not silence, but a language older than speech. A rustle in the leaves, a gentle creak in the wood, a sigh in the breeze, and somehow it feels like the trees are whispering. Stop walking and just listen. The forest doesn't speak in words. It speaks in molecules, in movement, in slow, patient action. Above you, a single branch lifts just slightly. It follows the light. You tilt your face upward and watch as rays of sunlight pierce through the canopy in soft golden shafts. And you wonder, how do trees know where the light is? The answer unfolds gently inside you, like the light itself. Phototropism, the tendency of plants to grow toward light. But it's more than a tendency. It's a conversation between cells and photons. When light falls unevenly across a plant, one side receives more than the other. This imbalance causes the shaded side to grow faster, bending the plant toward the source of brightness. It's not magic. It's hormones, auxins, flowing like intention. You run your fingers along a nearby trunk. Its bark is cool and dimpled, etched with time. Beneath this outer shell, vessels run like veins, xylem and phloem, channels of water and nutrients, each a river with its own destination. You remember that trees drink from the ground, but breathe through the sky. Water is pulled upward from root to leaf in a quiet miracle called transpiration. The sun warms a leaf, evaporating water from tiny pores. That loss creates tension, drawing more water upward from the roots, a silent chain of suction from soil to sky. You step deeper into the forest. Each tree feels like a tower of intention. Each leaf a solar panel. Each breath you take, an echo of their gift. Photosynthesis, the great trade of breath. You exhale carbon dioxide, and the trees take it in. They trap the carbon, release the oxygen, and build themselves slowly, cell by green cell. From light. It humbles you, doesn't it? That a tree can build its body from sunlight and air. That it can store energy in wood, bark, and fruit. Energy that once traveled 93 million miles from a star. But this forest holds more than light and carbon. It holds connection. You pause at the base of a particularly wide tree. Its roots snake outward, disappearing into the soil like fingers reaching for friends. And beneath your feet, a hidden world hums with quiet cooperation. Fungi. Long thread-like. Structures, mycelium, wind through the earth like living lace. They wrap around roots, touch them, trade with them. The forest is not a collection of individuals. It is a network. Trees send signals through these fungal threads, warning. Of pests sharing nutrients, whispering wisdom. This is the wood wide web. Not metaphor, but science. You imagine two trees far apart, connected underground. One receives more sunlight. The other, growing in shadow, struggles. And so, the first sends sugars through the fungal network to the second. A gift, a lifeline. This is not competition. This is community. You kneel at the base of a younger tree, its trunk thinner, bark smoother. It leans slightly toward a stream of golden light. Even now, it reaches, and you feel a kinship with it. A young tree must wait. Older trees dominate the canopy, claiming light. But when one falls, light floods in, and the younger trees surge upward. Not because they suddenly decide, but because the light unlocks their growth. They were always ready, just waiting. Isn't that how you grow too? You inhale deeply. The air here smells of moss and sap, sweet decay and fresh green. Every breath you take carries trace particles of tree. You are not outside of the forest. You are part of it. Your breath is its breath. Your stillness mirrors its pace. Trees live longer than you, some for centuries, some for thousands of years. And they do it by doing nothing quickly. They measure time in rings. They endure. They adapt slowly. They listen. You lean your back against the trunk and close your eyes. Imagine all the sunrises this tree has seen, all the storms it has withstood, all the roots it has shared space with, each year adding a layer, each scar becoming strength. And you, for this moment, get to rest here. You think of how trees bloom without asking why, how they stretch without fear, how they shed leaves without regret, how they fall without panic. Everything they do is slow and sure. And suddenly, you wonder, where does the water go when it leaves the trees? You open your eyes and follow the forest path again. The air cools further. A sound begins to grow, distant and soft. The hush of movement, not wind, water. You realize, not inside leaves this time, but outside, running free. And your body responds, not with urgency, but with a pull like gravity for the soul. You step quietly toward the sound, where the forest ends and the water begins. The forest parts gently, like a curtain drawn aside, and you step into stillness. Before you lies a lake, so smooth, so quiet, it reflects the sky as if it were made of glass. The two suns above shimmer faintly across its surface, their light, doubled, softened. And for a moment, you cannot tell if you are looking down or looking in. You move closer. Each step brings no sound, no bird call, no ripple of wind, only the hush of your breath and the pulse of your heart. Then, kneeling, You touch the water dot. It greets you without resistance, neither cold nor warm, but balanced. A perfect median, like it has known how to meet your skin before you arrived. You trail your fingers through it, and gentle rings widen outward. Ripples, soft as silk, spreading across the lake. Not chaotic, measured, deliberate, calm. You pause, because you remember something. Water remembers, not in thought, not in language, but in form. Every drop holds structure. 2 hydrogen atoms, 1 oxygen. HO, 3 letters that carry oceans, storms, sweat, and tears. A bond shaped like an open angle, a molecule with a tilt, and in that shape, a secret. That bend in water is everything. It's what lets it cling to itself. What gives it surface tension. What lets it rise in trees, hang on windows, form spheres in space that you press your palm to the surface and it bends, but doesn't break. That's cohesion. Water loves itself. Its molecules hold hands, tightly enough to form invisible skin, enough to let insects dance upon it, enough to shape rain into pearls. You lean closer and see your reflection ripple. Not just your face, but your feeling, gently disturbed. This lake is a mirror of more than light. It reflects mood, thought, memory. Because water is everywhere, inside you, around you, beneath you. And wherever it goes, it listens. It carries temperature. It carries salt. It carries story. Even in silence, water speaks. You let your other hand touch the lake, palms open now. Welcoming. You think of snowflakes, how each one begins with a speck, a seed of dust or pollen. How water vapor clings to it, freezes, folds. How geometry takes over. Every angle of a snowflake is born from that bent bond, the way HO connects. 6 arms, perfect balance. Infinite variation, that you wonder if snow ever falls on this world. What shape it would take. What frozen beauty waits above these skies. Slowly, you step into the lake. The water parts easily. It embraces your ankles, then calves, rising with no protest. You walk further, until your body is halfway submerged. There is no fear, only stillness. You float. Not because you try, but because water holds you. It always has. Your body, mostly water itself, is no stranger here. You close your eyes, and the lake becomes your cradle. And you remember, water shaped your planet. It carved valleys, smoothed stones, split continents. It carried life across time. Before life breathed air, it swam. Before blood, there was current. Even now, your blood is salty, a signature of the sea you once came from. You are a walking echo of ancient oceans. You open your eyes and see bubbles rise beside you. Small, silvery domes, gas escaping. Trapped breath moving upward, pulled by buoyancy. You smile softly. Buoyancy, another gift of water's structure. It cradles less dense objects, lifts them up. And you, here now, feel like something lifted gently toward the sky. The water sways around you. And for a moment, you forget your weight, your shape, even your name. There is only rhythm, only presence. And in this moment, something shifts in you. You think of tears. They are made of water too. Salt, enzymes, emotion wrapped in chemistry. Tears fall when you laugh, when you ache, when you release. And though the reasons change, the formula remains the same. Even emotion has a molecule. You turn onto your back, floating fully now. The stars of midday, dim against the lavender sky, watch quietly. The light ripples with you, and every inch of you is held. You think about the moon, not the one above you now, but Earth's familiar companion. How it tugs at oceans, pulls waves with silent gravity. How even the water inside you responds to its call. Perhaps this lake knows its own moon. Perhaps tides roll gently here too, unseen in this stillness. Perhaps even now, some distant satellite is pulling softly on the surface beneath you. You drift, body aligned with gravity, heart beating slowly, water cupping your back like memory. And in this silence, you hear more than you expect. You hear science, whispered like a lullaby. Thermodynamics, surface tension, latent heat. Concepts wrapped in softness, asking only to be felt. You stay here a while, thou rush. No time, only being, but then a flicker dot in the distance. Under a drooping willow-like tree, you see something move. A soft glow, a glimmering pulse, eyes perhaps, or light, a creature? You aren't sure, but something is there, slow, glowing, watching. You let the water carry you closer, toward the quiet shape that waits in light. The glow moves, and you follow. Still half floating in the water, you drift toward the shoreline, where the soft shimmer pulses behind a thick drape of moss. You step out quietly, the water slipping away from your skin like silk falling from shoulders. Just beyond the reeds, the light shifts again, and then you see them creatures, not mythical, not monstrous, but gentle, unfamiliar, and slow. Their bodies glimmer with internal light, not bright, not jarring, just enough to outline their soft edges. Their shapes blur between fish and mammal, insect and bird, yet none of those exactly. They are something else, built by a world that favored stillness over speed, elegance over efficiency. You crouch low, watching. They do not run. They do not fear. Their eyes are large, round, calm. Not watching you exactly, just noticing. And you wonder, why do they glow? Not in the way fantasy might suggest, but biologically, chemically. Because even wonder has a logic beneath it. B-I-O-L-U-M-I-E-S-C-E-N-C-E. You recall the term. Life that makes its own light. The process is real, ancient, and beautiful. It comes from a reaction between a light-emitting molecule, luciferin, and an enzyme, luciferase. When the two meet in the presence of oxygen, light is born. Cold light. No heat. No waste. Just glow. Fireflies use it. Deep-sea fish. Certain fungi. Even some bacteria. And here, on this quiet planet, so do these creatures. You wonder what purpose it serves. Back home, bioluminescence evolved to communicate, to lure prey, to warn, to mate, to distract, to disguise. Here, perhaps it does all those things or none of them. Perhaps it is simply beauty that has adapted into function. One creature steps closer. Its skin shimmers like water in moonlight. Its breathing is slow, rhythmic, and its glow pulses softly with each exhale, as if its lungs speak in light. You wonder how long it took for these beings to become what they are. How many generations? How many tiny mutations? How many small successes and failures? Evolution, after all, is patient. Not a force that designs, but a process that edits. Every change is tested by time, and time is never in a hurry. The creatures here are perfectly suited to this world. Their limbs fold gracefully into the terrain. Their feet leave no mark. Their sounds, when they make them, are low and melodic, not voices, but vibrations. Carried through air and ground, yet you walk among them now, slowly, respectfully. You feel like a visitor in a sacred library. Each animal is a book written by biology. Each motion a paragraph. Each breath a line of poetry that you think about adaptation. How species shift over time to meet their needs. Longer legs for running, sharper eyes for hunting, wider leaves for capturing light. But not everything adapts for dominance. Sometimes it adapts for stillness, for harmony, For balance with the place it calls home, you notice a pair of creatures, one large, one small, moving together. Not parent and child, but something else. A bond, a partnership. Symbiosis. The science of living together. On Earth, remora fish cling to sharks. Bees pollinate flowers. Bacteria thrive in your own gut, helping you digest, defending you quietly. Here, it's the same story told in a different language. One creature leans on the other, literally, its glowing tendrils draped across the back of its partner. The larger one moves, the smaller one follows. Both benefit. Neither takes more than it needs. You sit on a soft rock and rest your hands in your lap. The creatures pay you little mind. You are not predator. You are not threat. You are something else entirely. And for now, that is enough. Your thoughts drift inward. You remember that you, too, are made of adaptations. That every cell in your body carries the history of survival. Your lungs echoing the gills of ancient fish. Your hands shaped by the grasping needs of distant ancestors. Your eyes, capable of tears, of light detection, of looking deeply. Even your mitochondria, the engines inside your cells, were once separate life forms, swallowed and merged in a union so successful, it became permanent. You are not one being. You are many, working as one. You are symbiosis in motion. And you wonder, how would these creatures describe you? Would they see the firelight of your thoughts, the glow of your own metabolism, the quiet calculations your body performs just to keep breathing? Would they see your mind, curious and wide, learning as you walk? A small creature approaches you. It's no taller than your knee, and it blinks slowly as it moves near. You do not reach out, but you meet its gaze. There is no need to speak. You are both made of carbon, of water, of atoms born in stars. You are both the result of time and persistence. And now, for this moment, you share the same space. The creature turns and walks away. Not fearful. Not rushed. Just ready. You watch its glow fade into the forest, like a candle moving through fog. And then something catches your attention. High above, past the canopy, a flutter, a flicker. You tilt your head. Shapes moving between the trees. Not creatures of the ground, but of the sky. You stand slowly, letting the rhythm of the forest settle behind you. There is life up there, 2-high branches, floating wings. Flight. Paths that follow ancient instincts. You begin walking again. The air thins slightly as you rise along the path. The terrain shifts from moss to stone, from shadow to light. Up ahead, the treetops part, and beyond them, the stars begin to turn. You step upward, drawn by the hush of celestial motion, and the soft promise of the sky's gentle machinery. The path rises, stone by stone, and with each step the trees fall away behind you. You feel the air thinning, not sharp, not cold, but cleaner somehow, lighter, like thought shedding its weight. Up here, the sky stretches wider. A vast bowl, turned above your head, deepening from lavender to indigo. The last threads of sunlight retreat behind the distant hills, and the first stars bloom softly into view. You stop walking and look up. The stars here are more than points of light. They shimmer gently, suspended in motion. Not fixed, but flowing. Not scattered, but arranged. You lie back on a smooth slab of rock, your spine aligning with gravity, your breath matching the stillness. Above you, the sky moves slowly, too slow to see, but not too slow to feel. The stars wheel in silence, each one tracing an invisible path, pattern older than time, and you begin to wonder, what holds it all together? You think of gravity, not as a force of pulling, but as a bending of space. A planet curves the fabric of the universe, just enough to make other things fall toward. It, not pulled, simply moving along the curve of least resistance. You are lying on a planet right now. A ball of mass, wrapped in air, spinning steadily as it dances around two suns. You cannot feel it move, but it does. Spinning on its axis, orbiting its stars, tugging its moons along for the ride. You lift your hand and trace a circle in the air. That's all orbit is, a balance. Momentum trying to move forward, gravity pulling inward. The result? A perfect loop. Like sleep circling back to dreams. One star might pull, but two create a ballet. You imagine this planet's twin suns, how their combined gravity must shape a complex, elegant path, not chaotic, just layered. Even complexity, you learn, has order underneath. You watch as one of the planet's moons rises slowly over the horizon. It's pale and soft, casting a gentle glow across the highlands. Then a second, smaller, blue-tinted, moving faster across the sky. Moons, you remember, are not just decoration. They are clocks. They stabilize the planet's tilt, balance. Tides, slow rotations. Without a moon, Earth's days would be shorter, its seasons less stable, its oceans more unruly. Perhaps this world has found its peace in these twin companions, one steady, one swift, each one pulling softly, never too hard. You wonder what tides are like here, what rhythms shape its waters, what dances occur in the liquid hush between gravity and motion. And you wonder about the sky itself, why it's dark at all. That you think of Olber's paradox, the question of why the night isn't ablaze with infinite starlight. If the universe holds infinite stars, and the answer, soothingly, is distance, time, expansion. Not every star has had time to reach you. Not every beam of light has arrived. The universe is growing, stretching space itself, so some starlight will never find you. The darkness isn't empty. It's just quiet. You smile softly. The stars do not hurry, and neither do you. You shift slightly, letting the stone beneath you cool your shoulders. You begin to feel the turning now, not as dizziness, but as a kind of lullaby. This planet spins, gently, enough to create day and night, enough to flatten the poles ever so slightly, enough to carry you softly into sleep. You realize that you, too, are part of the machinery, not separate from it, not outside it, but shaped by it. Your body understands rhythm. Your brain maps time by sunrises. Your chemistry changes with light. Your circadian rhythm, the internal clock written in molecules, follows the stars without ever needing to see them. Melatonin, cortisol, sleep, wake, even your dreams arrive on time. You look up again. Some stars flicker slightly, and you remember that's not always because of distance. It's the atmosphere, light bending through layers of gas and motion. A simple star becomes a shimmer because of the space between. You think of perspective. How? Light travels, how time stretches, how everything appears only from where you are. If you moved, even slightly, the constellations would shift. The universe would redraw itself, and yet its laws remain unchanged. You feel small here, but not insignificant, more like a cog in a vast, gentle clock. Part of a universe that runs, not with gears, but with gravity and grace. You let your eyes close, not from sleep, not yet, but from trust. The stars will keep turning whether you see them or not. And then, in the silence, you hear something. Beneath, a low hum, a vibration through the stone. Faint, like a song buried in earth. It isn't the sky anymore that draws you. It's the land. You sit up slowly, feet finding the rock, and feel the mountains humming their memory below. You rise. Feet pressing into warm stone, breath steadying with each slow step. The forest lies behind you now, and with it, the whisper of leaves and the hush of water. Ahead, the terrain shifts, no longer soft, but strong, steady, stone underfoot, angled upward. A slope not sharp, but persistent. It welcomes you without urgency, inviting you to move slowly. So you do. The path winds into the foothills first, rounded mounds of rock, half swallowed by moss and time. The air thins slightly, not enough to make breathing hard, but enough to make you aware of breath itself. You inhale. The oxygen feels lighter. You exhale, and the silence receives it. Here, the silence isn't empty. It's full of years, full of weight. You place your palm on a smooth boulder at your side. It's warm from the sun, but colder beneath, like the past just beneath the skin of now. The rock doesn't move, it doesn't speak, but it remembers. Look up. The ridges stretch out before you like frozen waves. They glisten faintly in the twilight, their peaks brushed by light. Folded, tilted, layered. You're walking through time, not time as in hours or days, but deep time. Geologic time, the kind that doesn't tick. It presses, it folds, it breaks, and it builds mountains. You pause and sit on a flat ledge. Your legs welcome the rest, but your mind is just beginning to climb. You run your hand along the surface. There, a stripe of darker stone, like a line drawn across the rock, and another beneath it. Each one a layer. Each one a record. Sedimentary rocks, you recall, form from compression, from accumulation, from patience. Tiny bits of broken shell, wind-blown dust, sand from old rivers. Each layer settles, is pressed, and waits. Then more comes. Then more, until the weight becomes memory. Until the earth itself pushes upward, folds it, lifts it, turns the horizontal into vertical. You're sitting in the story of uplift. Plate tectonics. Earth's invisible engine. The planet's crust, not fixed, but fractured, floats atop. A sea of slow-moving mantle. Convection currents below stir the plates like soup. And when two plates meet, they collide, or slide, or one sinks below the other. This, you realize, is how continents breathe. You touch the ridge behind you, a vertical slab, once buried beneath the sea. Now it stands like a book cracked open, telling a story in fossils and fractures. The layers whisper, this was once underwater. This was once flat. This was once sand. Now, it is a wall of memory. You continue upward. The slope steepens, and so does your stillness. With every step, the distractions fall away. The noise of the mind softens. It's hard to be busy, you know. Place this old. You stop at a viewpoint, an outcrop looking out across the valley. Below, the land rolls in soft waves. Trees cluster like thoughts. Water sinks through shadows. But here above, you feel the vastness. The mountains around you shimmer faintly in moonlight, their edges softened by erosion, shaped, not by sudden violence, but by persistence, wind, rain, frost, sun. You think of how water seeps into cracks, freezes, and expands. How it breaks mountains not with force, but with repetition. And so, the tallest peaks wear down. They don't fall. They bow. Gracefully, over eons. You trace the edge of the stone nearby, jagged, but smoothed by time. Metamorphic, perhaps. Formed under heat and pressure, born again from older rock. Changed, not destroyed. Isn't that like you? You, too, are shaped by pressure, by time, by layers. You carry your own strata, moments pressed into memory, some still visible, some buried deep. You sit again, hands resting in your lap, and you listen, not with ears, but with awareness. The mountains do not speak in language. They speak in form, in shape, in pattern. They speak in erosion lines, in fault scars, in crystals grown slowly inside. You close your eyes. Beneath your body is a planet still forming, its outer crust cool, but its heart still molten. The core spins. The mantle flows. And here on its surface, you sit like a thought on the skin of memory. Your breath slows with altitude. Your thoughts slow with scale. You feel small, but not insignificant. You are not separate from these peaks. You are made of the same elements: calcium, iron, silicon, oxygen, the same stardust. The same atoms rearranged. You are Earth, remembering itself. A breeze brushes past, thin but kind, and you rise once more. The trail curves again, winding into narrower passageways, canyons between ridges, echoes of landslides. Loose stones clatter softly underfoot. Then, a sound, not rock, not wind, a hush, a hum, a low, slow exhale of something vast. You follow it, and up ahead between the ridges, a shape opens, a wide expanse, a bowl of sand and silence, a desert. Golden, quiet, stretching under the moonlight like a page unmarked. You step toward the stillness and wonder what a desert dreams when nothing moves. The mountains fall behind you, their stony echoes fading with each step. Now just space. Open, wide, still. You enter the desert quietly, as though stepping into someone else's dream. There is no wind here, no rustling leaves, no shifting shadows, just warmth and silence. The ground beneath your feet is soft and fine, not harsh, not sharp. Sand, smoothed by time, shaped by heat, laid down grain by grain. It yields just enough to let you feel your movement. You pause, look around. Every direction stretches the same, golden earth meeting pale sky, with no edge to hold your gaze. It feels like floating, but with your feet on the ground. This is not a place of fear. It is a place of stillness. A desert, you realize, is not empty. It is full of rest, of waiting, of systems in balance. You walk slowly, each step deliberate. The rhythm of motion becomes meditation, and your mind softens, expands, unwinds. Thoughts no longer tumble over one another. They stretch, pause, settle. This is the space between ideas. This is the silence that lets new patterns rise. You think of entropy, a concept so often misunderstood that it is not chaos, not disorder in the way we imagine. Entropy is the measure of possibility, the number of ways a system can arrange itself. Here, in the desert, entropy is high. Not because things fall apart, but because things rest. Heat spreads evenly. Matter disperses gently. Nothing is forced. And this, too, is peace. You sit down in the sand. Feel it shift beneath you, accepting your weight without resistance. Each grain is ancient. Quartz, perhaps, or feldspar. Once part of a mountain. Now weathered smooth, carried by wind, dropped by time. You pick up a handful and let it fall slowly through your fingers. So many grains. So many stories. You imagine the processes: mechanical weathering, chemical breakdown, the push and pull of temperature, the long, slow choreography of erosion. No single moment made this sand. It is the product of patience. You lie back. The earth is warm beneath you, not hot, not burning, just warm enough to feel held. The sky above is pale, almost silver, not blue, not gold, something in between, something soft. No clouds, no wind, only light. Light, too, is slow here. Not in speed. It still travels fast, but in feeling. It doesn't press. It doesn't sting. It rests on you like cloth, thin, steady kind. And you think, maybe your thoughts are like this landscape, once jagged, now smooth, once crowded, now quiet. Your mind has its own dunes. its own winds now still, its own softness. You breathe in and breathe out. The silence remains. But now it feels different. Not absence. Presence. You begin to notice the small things. A pale insect trailing lines in the sand, a cactus-like form, low and folded inward, waiting for night. A faint shimmer on the horizon, where heat dances like memory. Even here, especially here, life exists. But it does not rush. It does not demand that it conserve. Ease. You remember. In deserts, every drop matters. Water is not wasted. Energy is not spent without care. Survival is found in stillness. And simplicity, isn't that a kind of wisdom? Your body relaxes further, as if taking its cue from the land. Your heartbeat slows. Your limbs sink slightly into the sand. Your eyelids grow heavy. And as you rest, your mind drifts to another thought. The desert is a system, a thermodynamic space in balance. Heat flows until it finds calm. Particles move until they settle. You are not apart from this. You are made of the same physics, the same heat exchange, the same stardust. You are a system too, self-regulating, always seeking balance. And here, in this quiet space, your balance begins to return. Time feels different now. Not a ticking thing. Not a forward pull, but circular, like breath. Like the sun's slow arc. Like the cycle of sand becoming stone, becoming sand again. You feel yourself soften inside. As if some old rigidity has given way. As if your edges, too, have been weathered smooth. There is nothing to solve here. Nothing to fix. Only being. Only rest. You rise slowly, not out of need, just out of readiness. Your body moves like it remembers how to flow, how to take up space without effort, how to return to rhythm. You walk again. The desert stretches still, unchanged. But you are different now, lighter, quieter, balanced. And then, in the distance, a shape, not stone, not dune, something living, a grove, faint green against the gold. You move toward it, not rushed, just drawn. And as the land begins to bloom beneath your feet, you feel the first stirring of something familiar, your own biology, gently awakening. You walk gently into the green. Past the edge of the golden desert, where stillness once cradled your thoughts. There is movement again, not loud, but layered. Leaves rustle, roots coil. A breeze moves through like breath. This grove is different, wilder, denser. Every stem and frond seems to hum in its own quiet rhythm. And as you walk through it, something inside you shifts. You begin to feel it, not just around you, but within you. The connection, the reflection. This planet, with all its harmony and pattern, has a twin. You. Your body is a garden. Always has been. You pause beneath a large, fern-like tree. Its branches sway above you, wide and slow, casting dappled shadows across your skin. You breathe in. The air is rich here, not just with oxygen, but with scent, soft soil, wet bark. A hint of sweetness you can't name. It stirs something. And suddenly you're aware of your lungs, the way they fill, the way they soften, the way they empty gently without needing to be told. Each breath you take is a quiet exchange. Carbon dioxide out, oxygen in. You offer. The world gives back. Like the forests do. You are forest. Tiny alveoli inside you branch like leaves on trees. Millions of them, each a chamber for air, a place for gas to pass and blood to bind. They flutter softly in your chest, echoing the foliage above you. Breathing isn't just function. It's communion. And deeper still, your heart. You place your hand to your chest and feel it. Steady, quiet, but powerful. A pulse, a rhythm, a river moving through you. Your circulatory system flows like the planet's streams. Arteries carry bright oxygen, like rivers that feed growing things. Veins bring the spent blood home, like rivers that return to sea. Over 60,000 miles of vessels, winding through you. You are water. You are current. You are tide. You move without moving. You walk on, slowly, your body relaxed. Your senses open. And then you feel something smaller, deeper, stranger. A stir inside you. Not of thought. Of life. Microbiome. Billions of microscopic beings live within your gut, your skin, your mouth. They are not separate from you. They are part of your being, like roots and fungi in a forest, like bacteria in soil, like stars in a galaxy. They digest, they protect, they communicate with your brain. You are never truly alone. You are a planet to them, a biome. You sit now, legs folded gently beneath you, in a patch of moss that cushions without weight. The forest watches. But there is no judgment here. You breathe again, slower this time. And with your breath comes presence. Cells, trillions of them, work silently, without applause. Each one knows its job. Each one has its structure, its task, its place. Inside your bones, marrow makes blood. Inside your brain, neurons whisper in sparks. Inside your stomach, acids churn and enzymes dance. You are a system of systems, an orchestra of chemistry and biology. And still, it feels gentle. You imagine your cells as seeds, each carrying instructions. DNA, a winding library of blueprints written long ago. And yet, they adapt. They respond to temperature, to stress, to light, to sleep. Your body listens to the world, even when your mind does not. You lie back now, fully at rest. The ground beneath you is soft and warm. The sky above is laced with stars. And in the quiet, you begin to see. You are nature. You are not separate, not other. You are not a visitor here. You belong to the same physics, the same molecules, the same time. What the planet does, you do. It circulates. So do you. It breathes. So do you. It grows, it heals, it breaks down and rebuilds. So do you. Even your dreams follow cycles, patterns in your brain that mirror tides and seasons. Deep sleep, drifting, returning, a spiral, a rhythm, a bloom. You think of gardens, how they flourish not from force, but from patience, from nutrients, from light, from rest. You are no different. And sleep, true sleep, is the season in which you grow without effort, when memory roots itself, when cells repair, when inflammation fades, when the body turns inward into dark and quiet healing. The garden does not shout when it grows, and neither do you. Your thoughts begin to slow, not as a command, but as a kindness. The soil of your mind feels ready, fertile. Thoughts that once tangled now soften, settle, sink. You lie still, but inside, you bloom. The pulse in your wrist is a reminder. The breath in your lungs is a lullaby. The warmth in your belly is proof. You are alive, and you are tending. You are not broken. You are complex, and you are loved by the very laws that built you. Your eyelids drift lower now. The forest sways softly above. And as your body leans fully into rest, you feel something rise, not outside, but within. A light, a flicker, a pattern behind closed eyes. And in that glow, you sense the mind's own aurora beginning to form. You close your eyes, not because you're tired, though you are, but because something behind your lids is calling. A flicker, a shimmer, colors that don't quite exist in daylight. pale greens, gentle blues, warm pulses of something UNNAMEABLE. Aurora, not in the sky, but within, the mind's own light show. Not made of solar winds and magnetic fields, but of electricity, rhythm, and thought. You breathe slowly, and the curtain of color shifts behind your eyes. This is not dreaming. Not yet. This is the doorway. You begin to feel your thoughts change texture. Once sharp, now soft. Once racing, now floating. Your brain is easing you down, step by step, wave by wave. You recall the terms, but now they feel more like poetry than science.alpha waves, the rhythm of waking rest. They arrive first, when your body is still, but your mind still wanders. Gentle, humming frequencies that settle like mist. Then theta, a space of drowsiness, of images that appear without warning. The beginning of story, of slipping. And finally, delta, the deep, slow waves of non-dreaming sleep. The bedrock, your brain beneath all its complexity, is a sea of shifting waves. Oscillating, resetting, cleansing, you lie still, and your neurons follow suit. The outside world fades into the background. Sounds grow distant. Light dims behind the mind's curtain. You're entering your own internal night, and it begins, quietly, with chemistry. Melatonin. A molecule. Yes, but more than that, a timekeeper. Released by the pineal gland, deep within your brain, melatonin tells your body that darkness has come, that it's time to release the day, to soften, to sleep. Your circadian rhythm, the 24-hour cycle within you, listens. This rhythm isn't just about sleep. It governs body temperature, hormone release, digestion, alertness. A quiet conductor orchestrating everything without applause. You remember, it is light that sets this rhythm. Natural light in the morning resets your internal clock. Darkness in the evening winds it down. And right now, here, in this dreamlike place, it is dark enough for surrender. You sink deeper. Your brain, though resting, is not idle. Behind the scenes, 1,000 repairs begin. Glial cells sweep away the metabolic debris of thought. Synapses weaken or strengthen depending on what matters. A kind of neurological gardening. You prune the unneeded. You reinforce the important. This is not forgetting. This is refining. Sleep, you realize, is not escape. It is work of the gentlest kind. You shift slightly on the mossy ground, and the sky above remains calm. But inside, galaxies. The hippocampus, deep in your brain, processes memories, sorting them, indexing, deciding what to keep and where to place it. It is the librarian of your life. And during sleep, the shelves are rearranged. You feel the filing, the flicker of past images. A face, a voice, a color. Nothing you chase, just glimpses moving through, like stars in a stream. Dreaming begins. You don't control it. You never really do. It is the language of your subconscious, speaking in symbols, in leaps of time, in impossible transitions. REM, rapid eye movement, begins. Your eyes dark beneath closed lids. Your body is still, but your mind is lit. In this state, the brain's activity mirrors waking, but you are elsewhere, traveling through inner terrain, combining memory with imagination, testing possibilities, exploring emotion in metaphor. Why do we dream? So many theories. Emotional processing, memory consolidation, creative rehearsal, or simply because the brain needs to remain alive, even in rest. And perhaps all of these are true. Perhaps dreaming is the bridge between waking and sleeping thought, between logic and intuition, between knowing and feeling. You drift deeper. There is a moment now, not quite measurable, where your sense of self dissolves. You are not you in the usual way. You are not bound by name, or task, or identity. You are presence, a pattern of light, a being made of rhythm and rest. And even here, even now, your body continues to listen. Your heartbeat slows. Your breath becomes steady. Your muscles enter atonia, temporary stillness, a protective pause so you do not act out your dreams. The systems within you are calm, no alarms, no alerts, only process dot and the brain. Your brain moves in cycles, stages, back and forth, light to deep, to REM, to deep again. Each 90-minute loop carries its own tone, its own lessons dot, and slowly it prepares you for return. But not yet. Now is for staying, that now is for healing. Not just the body, but the self that forgets how to pause, the self that holds too tightly, the self that needs this moment of unknowing. You sigh, not from thought, but from depth, a sigh that rises from the base of your lungs, releasing something unspoken. You don't need to solve anything here. You don't need to name anything, just witness, just drift, and in the colors behind your eyes, still glowing, still shifting, you sense the energy of your own rest, like an aurora made of silence, the dance of neurons in night. You smile, softly dot, not for anyone, just because it feels good to be whole dot, to remember that rest is not indulgence. It is nature. Even the stars rest in cycles. Even the planet sleeps dot, and soon, so will you. You exhale once more, your body fully released. Just before the next wave of sleep takes you, you wonder, if the mind carries light, where does it go when the body finally dreams? You lie still, not just in body, but in thought, no longer wandering, no longer searching, just resting. The planet is quiet now, but it is not empty. It breathes with you. It has always breathed with you. Your breath, steady, slow, is no longer separate from the wind, the forest, the ocean. Inhale, the moss, the sky. Exhale, the memory of water and time. You feel it now, the merging. This place, this paradise planet, this world of science wrapped in silence. It no longer feels like something you explore. It feels like something you are. You are no longer walking through it. You are dissolving into it dot, and in that soft dissolving, something becomes clear. This planet does not exist apart from you. Its atmosphere, your lungs, its soil, your skin, its forests, your veins, its tides, your heart, its stars, your mind. You realize now that this journey has been inward all along. Every step taken across this land has led you closer to something already inside you, something ancient, something whole. Your thoughts drift like clouds. You no longer chase them. You simply observe, and they move gently past, slow, round, without edge. Above you, the sky stretches wide and dark, filled with slow-moving constellations. They don't speak in words. They speak in rhythm, and you understand them, because by now, you know everything in the universe is rhythm, the rising and falling of breath, the opening and closing of petals, the swing of the planet on its axis, the drift of your eyelids as they lower toward sleep. You breathe in, and the planet breathes out. You breathe out, and the stars seem to shimmer closer. It is not a dream. It is not fiction. It is physics. Atoms vibrate. Energy pulses. Time bends in places you cannot see. And you, soft and small and still, are part of all of it. You remember, gently, what you've seen here. The moss that glowed beneath your feet, bioluminescence born of molecular design. The trees that whispered in the language of carbon and chlorophyll. The creatures of quiet light, their glow a chemistry, not magic. The skies that move not randomly, but through gravitational law. You remember water rising through branches. You remember soil holding the memory of rain. You remember moons tugging at oceans and your thoughts. You remember that your body is made of the same elements as stars. You remember that the very act of sleeping is a natural process, a necessity, designed by evolution, governed by chemistry, made beautiful by the stillness it brings, melatonin flowing, brain waves deepening, cells rebuilding, memories sorting themselves like quiet librarians. You remember that the mind is not a machine, but a garden. And tonight, it has been watered by wonder. All this knowledge, all this science, does not crowd you. It does not overwhelm. It hums quietly inside you, like a lullaby written in atoms. The more you learn, the softer you become. The more you understand, the more you let go. You are no longer looking for answers. You are simply letting the questions bloom. What is gravity, if not a kind of embrace? What is a cell, if not a single note in the symphony of life? What is entropy, if not the universe's way of breathing out? What is sleep, if not a return to source? You shift slightly, and the moss cushions your movement like memory. The soil accepts your shape, and now you are almost fully still. Eyes closed, muscles slack, heart quiet. You listen for sound, but hear only harmony. A soft wind, a distant water ripple, the pulse in your neck, steady as orbit. Everything is in motion, and yet everything is at rest. This is the paradox of peace. To be fully part of everything, and feel no urgency to move. You think of the auroras you saw behind your eyes, the colors born not from light, but from neurons firing gently in your mind. Even now, they flicker behind your lids. Soft greens, a trace of blue. Your brain, active but dreaming. Your consciousness, not gone, but floating. You feel no weight, no name, no need to define yourself. You are more than your identity. You are pattern. You are breath. You are balance. Planet doesn't ask you for anything. It simply allows you to rest. And so you do. You rest without guilt, without thought, without needing to achieve rest. It happens to you. Like rain, like tide, like sunset. This is the way of the universe. Even galaxies take time to slow. Even stars flicker low before their last breath. And you, small as you are allowed the same grace. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to let go. You are allowed to forget. And in forgetting, you make space for something new. You think one last time about what brought you here. This journey, this science, this slow, unfolding understanding. You know that the laws of physics still apply, that the equations are still true, that molecules still spin, that cells still divide. But now it feels personal. The science has become part of your body, part of your breath, part of your dreams. No longer something to study, but something to feel. You rest your hand on your chest, feel the rise, the fall. You are still here, and yet you are everywhere you belong to. This world, to all worlds. To the stars that built your bones, to the microbes in your gut, to the trees that shared their oxygen, to the planets still forming in dust. You are part of the system far larger than yourself, and that is comforting. You do not have to be the universe. You only have to be within it. As you are now, quiet, breathing, real. The planet around you dims, not disappearing, but folding into you. The forest, the water, the sky. All of it becoming internal. As if your body is the landscape now, and your sleep is the weather. You close your eyes fully. You let the world dissolve into stillness. And with your next breath, you are gone, not lost, just sleeping, not vanished, just becoming, not apart, just deeply, peacefully within. And somewhere, deep in the soil of your sleeping mind, a new question stirs. soft, glowing, and patiently waiting for tomorrow's light. And now, as our story gently fades, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for spending this moment with me. Your presence here means the world, and your support helps me create even more peaceful journeys. Just for you. If this helped you rest, please consider liking, subscribing, or simply coming back tomorrow night. Until then, stay cozy, stay kind, and may your dreams tonight be soft, serene, and full of wonder. Good night, my friend. With warmth, David.